Hello, my name is Pamela Poria. I live at 63 Sales Avenue in Pasco. I moved here with my family about 18 years ago with transplants from Woonsocket, but I always loved this area. I used to come ice fishing and fishing up this way with my family, my father, my mother, and my brother when we were younger. So when it came time for me to move, I knew this is where I wanted to be, and I love the village. I love the village because I had two members of my family that didn't drive, and right in the middle of Pasco, you can just walk to everything. Everything is there. George's is there. You can go to get pizza. You can get Chinese food. CVS is there. Now we have Dunkin' Donuts, and of course IGA, where my daughter works. Everything is right there. It's just the perfect little New England village, and I love it. I also have a great love for the forest because my father would take us out in the woods and we would look for animals. We would just look for animals, look for rabbits and squirrels and snakes and things like that. So I always had a love of nature, and I knew this is where I wanted my family to be. Now that I'm a grandmother, I have a little grandson that I would love to show those things to. But you know, I realize time goes by real quick, and life truly is short. And I think about my legacy. When am I going to leave him? I don't have a lot of money to leave him, but I'd like to share my love of nature and, you know, share some things about me, my family history with him, so I'll leave him some knowledge, if not money. So you start to think about your legacy as you get further along in years, and a lot of us here have more life behind us than in front of us, so we're all kind of thinking about our legacy. So, you know, with that in mind, I was kind of thinking, you know, what could I do? Maybe I would sit and write a letter to him to read when he is older, and maybe to his children. I'll never know those kids. I'll never know those kids, and I won't know their kids. So there's all these families that you'll never know, your family that you will never know. And we have to think ahead and think about what we're going to leave them. So I know if I were to sit down and write a letter like that, like a letter of introduction to these people, my family that I don't know, I would probably try to tell them some good things about myself, of course, maybe some of the foolish things I've done, so they know that I was a real person. I'd want them to know that I fought for my town. I cared about the environment. I loved my family. And so I would ask, you know, Invenergy to think of those things too. You're not going to be here. You're dust just like I am. And when all is said and done, what is your legacy going to be? What would your letter be like to your great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren? Would you say, gee, I'm leaving you tons of money, more than you could ever possibly want. I'm sorry it was at the cost of hundreds and thousands of families being hurt, displaced, poisoned, but at the time it didn't seem like that mattered too much. So enjoy the money. Maybe it can buy you some new lungs. Maybe by the time you read this letter, you will be able to buy your health. And you say money can't buy your health. Well, love. So I'm asking the sighting board also consider your legacy. You know, our lives are in your hands, really. You have to make these decisions for us. We cannot make these decisions, and I'm asking you to think about who's coming after you. You know, what do you want to say? What do you want those kids to say? Gee, you know, my great-grandmother was one of those people that didn't care about the environment and made sure that fossil fuels continued on, struggled on for another few years. Or can they look back and say, you know, they were champions, climate champions, and fought hard. I know you have to deal with facts, and emotion has to be kind of put aside. You people have to look at all the facts, but you are listening to us, so you you have to see that side of it, and I think you have a heart. I see a smile every once in a while. I think you do care. I really think you do care. So consider your families too. And one more thing I just wanted to say, one other person mentioned about the compressor station. We haven't heard a lot about that, but we already have polluted air in Burrillville. You don't see it, you don't smell it, but it's there. If you look up the facts about the Spectra compressor station and the second expansion that's coming up real soon, the emissions that we're already dealing with and will be dealing with are phenomenal and very, very scary. So I want to know what's going to happen. We already have this. What is the total going to be? Invenergy is going to has their numbers. Spectra has their numbers. What's going to happen when all of this is put together?
We reject it.
Please, please do the right thing. I heard somebody else say that. Please say no. Thank you so much.